log for the morning. And yes, it's a complaint about Adult Protective Services, but not just Adult Protective Services. Now I'm going to show you the difference here between Adult Protective Services and Child Protective Services. First of all, they're separate entities, apparently. They're really not. But there's also the fact that I've got these cards here for Adult Protective Services and Child Protective Services. And I want to show you the difference. Now, in order to send this stuff across the internet like they want me to, I have to have an email address to do it. Now, if we look at the Child Protective Services card here, the Child Protective Services card for Jordan Redbird, it's got an email address at the bottom of it. Oh, come on now. Maybe if I turn it sideways. God, I'm trying to get it so you can see it. Maybe if I put it right on my forehead. Anyway, at the bottom there, it's got an email address. So if it's an abused child, they've got an email address. And of course, when they tell you to go to the email, there's an email address to send it to. No problem. But when it comes to Adult Protective Services, here's what we've got. Department of Human Services, Aging and People with Disabilities, the Dalles, Oregon. It's got their office phone number. It's got their toll-free number. It's got their fax number. But there's no email address. None. This is the front of it. No email address at all. Here's the back of it. No email address at all. And they say you need to turn this in by what? How am I going to get a hold of them by email when I have no way to get a hold of their email address? So, like, out here, there's a lot of people who are having the same issues, not just with Adult Protective Services, but also with getting any assistance whatsoever. And the more disabled they are, the less likely they are to have any sort of assistance out here. So, of course, if there's an issue or there's an at-risk adult who's being abused, what do? You just tell them you're sorry, you can't do nothing, your hands are tied? No, your hands aren't tied. They're not tied. You're holding onto the rope and there's people's necks dangling at the other end. Now, when it comes to the cards that I have here for the aging and disabled, this ain't the only card that I got. I got the card from Cal Owens too. And even though it's Cal Owens' card, it doesn't have an email address on it. So, of course, with the issues that I happen to have with my disabilities, and of course, the issues that I have with communication, and then the issues that I have with the internet, I mean, literally, they tell me that I can only turn it in one way. So I go turn it in that way. They say it's the wrong way, and I got to turn it in a different way. So basically, I end up running around, jumping through hoops, and they keep making the hoops change after I've jumped through them. That's stupid. Like, hey, Sean, if you jump through that flaming hoop over there, then we'll help you. So I go jump through the flaming hoop, and they're like, no, actually, it's the flaming hoop over there. Okay, I got to go jump through that other one? Fine, I'll do that. I go jump through that one. They're like, no, Sean, that's not it. You're doing it wrong. Well, I'm doing it the way I'm told. I've also got a lot of issues with bullies, of course. And, you know, a lot of y'all think that homeless people are our biggest problem. Sometimes they are, but most of the time it's people's not giving a shit. It's going to these agencies and they just straight up don't care. You don't have any money. They don't have any incentive to care. You don't have the money to sue them. They know it. And then we end up with people out here at each other's throats. They're not at each other's throats because they're doing evil things to each other. They're doing all this crap to try to get help. They're all jumping through these hoops, all being denied. And yeah, they're all frustrated. When you got a bunch of people who are frustrated all in the same area, yes, that frustration from time to time, or frequently and often, is going to pour over into other people's bullshit and drama. And the worst thing about it is, what you guys are calling drama, it's trauma. It starts with a T. T-R-A-U-M-A. Trauma. When these people are traumatized to the point that they can't function, then we end up with, well, of course, domineering individuals who want to take control, want to take power. They want some semblance of control over their own lives. And of course, when you don't have that, but you can domineer others, what incentive do you have not to? Especially when you know that nobody's going to do a goddamn thing. All right, so I helped clean up the back side of the building here yesterday, and it's looking all right. I mean, at least by comparison with what it was. However, picking up a little bit of garbage here and there as I'm able to, that's not the same as being able to take care of myself. That's not the same as being able to take a shower. That's not the same as a lot of people think that because you can do one little thing that automatically you must be in perfect shape, and you're in physical shape that will allow you to get a physical job, and you can get yourself one of them piss poor shitty dirt jobs where you're getting paid minimum wage. Well, you know what? I love minimum wage jobs because most of them are active. An active job will keep your head straight. An active job will make the day go faster. Now, of course, well, that looks to be a needle. I guess we can use this here to pick it up. They bent over the needle sideways when they were done with it. However, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to risk touching that. There needs to be something to go over the end of it, because if we don't find something to cap it with, there's a possibility that somebody could stab themselves on it. That's not going to work. That'll work. No, that won't. All right, well, we're going to put it in the cup then, and we're going to fold over the top. We're going to try not to touch ourselves with it. Put it in this here cup. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold over the top. Now, this is not the safe place to put it or the safe way to put it. But I don't know where the sharps containers here are. And I'll ask some of the folks here later. That way I can clean things up effectively. When somebody goes by and sees something like that, it doesn't just make it bad for whoever it is that had left it there. It makes it bad for everybody. A lot of people look at that and they try to use it as a reflection of our entire community. But the homeless community ain't always a homeless community, and not everybody is accepted into the community. I mean, you guys have hopefully that by this point got the understanding that none of us out here like child molesters. None of us. We don't want them here. We don't want them anywhere that we go. But we're stuck with them. We got people who will take care of those people for us. But when you say take care, we're talking about activities that make things worse for all of us. When it comes to at-risk adults out here, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only at-risk adult who's out here. Matter of fact, most of these adults who are out here are at risk. Most of them. But none of us are heard. We get the runaround, and then we get this shit that makes it impossible to get a hold of these bastards that we're supposed to reach out to. And then they've got every reason why, excuse. These aren't valid reasons. These are excuses for these agencies to look away. So all this stuff I'm told to do over the internet. I did have somebody who was willing to help me send one thing this morning. No, it was supposed to be last night actually, but moral of the story is we couldn't find the email address. The guy that was going to help me last night checked on his phone again, checked it again, rechecked it. Then, of course, we rechecked it this morning. He was pretty sure that one of the videos that I needed to send, that he could help me to send it as long as we could find the email address, which is non-existent, apparently. So you call Adult Protective Services and they tell you to make a report online, and you can't make a report online over your fucking phone. Dumb. I don't think I've seen Jamie leave the property since I got here. I'm pretty sure she's scared to leave the property. I'm also certain that if she is afraid to leave the property, she's got every right to be, and if she's not afraid to leave the property, then she should be. A lot of people are pissed off at her and angry and hateful. I understand the frustration when she starts screaming. I even understand some of y'all's fear when she starts screaming, especially when she's making them crazy allegations. Are they really crazy? Last night I gave her a cigarette, and immediately after lighting that cigarette, she started going off on these people are racist, and these people are rapists, and these people are this, and these people are that. And it very much seemed like it was directed at me just because she was looking at me while she was saying it, but she was talking about other people. She was talking about how sick people are. She's right. You guys want to call her mentally ill. You know what? She's not the one who fucking smacked herself. She's not the one that threw shit at herself. She's not the one that fucking pegged herself in the head with a burrito. She's not the one that did those things. She doesn't deserve to be punished by a bunch of people who are sick enough that they think it's okay to target her. I get that it's annoying. I totally get it. With all due respect, I'm annoying as fuck. I even annoy myself sometimes. You guys have heard me screaming similar stuff to similar people, similar words. I say similar because I directed at my predators, specifically at my predators, by name, my predators. I get treated like I'm somebody like Jamie. And the sad, pathetic thing about that is that Jamie is victimized as well, and what chance does she have? Especially with the mentally ill tag over her head. Especially with people who are not trained to tell fact from fiction out here. Well, if you're not trained to tell fact from fiction, thank goodness I save evidence, but the problem is that saving evidence does no good if there's nowhere to take it or turn it in. Adult Protective Services, their workers broke the law. And so, because their workers broke the law, they called the cops and claimed that I was breaking the law. No, they did. They went out of their way to create a situation whereby I would be abused with no recourse to turn it in. Adult Protective Services, Cal Owens, and the people at his office, they need to be audited. They need to be asked the question, plain and simple. Why are the most victimized out here? Why are the most at risk out here being ignored by Adult Protective Services? Why are they being ignored by the Office of Aging and Disability? And why is it that the Office of Aging and Disability has zero fucking experience? This is literally their job. This is literally what they were created for. They're not even trained to do their fucking jobs. And it gets people killed, you sick son of a bitches. You know how we end these videos. It's good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.